city of Westlake Hills is now the target of a lawsuit. An advocacy group says the city's sex offender ordinance is too restrictive.
It essentially bans most sex offenders from living in the city limits. And KXAN's Kylie McGivern joins us now. Kylie, Westlake Hills really isn't the only city being sued.
It's really not. Shannon and Robert, Westlake Hills is just one of 14 cities that the nonprofit Texas Voices for Reason and Justice is suing across the state. The lawsuit demands communities repeal what they call unconstitutional ordinances.
Good afternoon, Kind of Crazy.
Marianne Benson is a proud grandma and owner of Kinda Crazy Kids and Company in Westlake Hills.
I'm going to let you put these in here for me. Children's store or a baby store is a very happy place to be, and that was a goal.
Happiness often hinges on safety.
The first and foremost things in our minds is we want them to be safe.
City Council passed the sex offender residency restriction ordinance nearly 9 years ago to promote the safety of children while denying sex offenders what they called safe havens. The ordinance prohibits those on the registry from living within 1,000 feet of any defined premises where children commonly gather. Because of this, Texas Voices for Reason and Justice is suing.
It's a problem. We're getting calls from people and their families who are registered all over Texas that simply cannot find a place to live.
The lawsuit cites an attorney general opinion which says cities with a population under 5,000 may not adopt an ordinance restricting where a registered sex offender may live.
If people don't have a place to live, they're less likely to register, and then law enforcement doesn't know where they are.
Anyone with any knowledge and love for people and relationships would want them to be safe. Anyone.
This lawsuit will determine just how far ordinances can go in the name of safety. And it's important to note that according to the state registry, just 4 sex offenders currently reside within the Westlake Hills zip code. Westlake Hills' attorney tells us that City Council has not yet decided whether to retain, amend, or repeal that ordinance.
All right, Kylie, thank you very much. And it is important to point out, if you can find out if a sex offender does live near you, the Texas Department of Public Safety lists the addresses of sex offenders on a statewide database. You can look at each zip code individually or go through an online map to see who lives in your neighborhood. We checked, and many of the sex offenders who live in Austin are located east of Interstate 35. Zip codes 78723, 78753, and 78741 have about 100 or more sex offenders. There are also several dozen registered in downtown Austin. The majority are located at the Arch Homeless Shelter. And if you want to look up who lives in your area, head to this story on the KXAN News app.